Lily stood in the busy spaceport, her eyes scanning the crowd. The air was thick with the sounds of different languages and the smell of exotic foods. She leaned against the cool metal of her ship, a battered old model that had seen better days. Though she looked tough on the outside, she felt a storm of emotions inside. As a skilled pilot, Lily was used to being judged. People often looked at her with suspicion. They saw her rough clothes, her short hair, and the scars on her hands. But they never saw the person she really was. She had built walls around her heart, and it was easier that way. It kept people from getting too close. Just then, a loud shout broke her thoughts. A group of aliens stood nearby, their voices rising in anger. Lily turned to watch as they pushed a human man, making him stumble. He looked scared, his eyes wide as he tried to back away. Lily felt a surge of anger rise in her chest. She could not stand by and watch this happen. Without thinking, she walked over. "Hey, leave him alone," she shouted, her voice steady and strong. The aliens turned to her, their eyes narrowing. They were bigger than her, with sharp features and glistening skin. They did not like being challenged. One of them laughed, a low, cruel sound. "What are you going to do, little human?" he sneered. Lily squared her shoulders. "You're outnumbered. You should back off before this gets messy." The aliens exchanged glances, surprised by her courage. But instead of backing down, they took a step closer, their intentions clear. Before Lily could react, they lunged at her. She ducked and swung, her fist catching one of them in the jaw. The aliens staggered back and the others moved in. Lily fought hard, her training kicking in. She was fast, dodging their blows and striking back. But they were strong, and soon she felt the weight of their numbers. Just as she was about to be overwhelmed, a figure rushed in. Ethan appeared, his eyes focused and determined. He grabbed one of the aliens and pulled him away from Lily. "Get back!" he shouted, pushing the alien aside. Lily felt a rush of relief mixed with confusion. She had seen Ethan around the spaceport before. He was an engineer, known for fixing ships and helping travelers. He was not a fighter, but he was brave. Together, they fought off the aliens, striking them until they retreated, hissing in anger. When the last one ran away, Lily and Ethan stood, catching their breath. "Are you okay?" Ethan asked, his brow furrowed with concern. Lily nodded, but she felt a wave of embarrassment. She wiped her brow and looked away, her heart racing. Fine. I can handle myself." Ethan smiled gently. "I know you can. But you didn't have to do that alone." She felt a flicker of warmth in his words, but she quickly pushed it down. "I didn't ask for your help," she replied, trying to sound tough. He raised an eyebrow. "Maybe not, but it's good too." "No, someone's got your back." Lily crossed her arms, trying to hide her vulnerability. "I don't need anyone," she said, her voice sharper than she intended. Ethan studied her for a moment, his expression softening. "You might think that, but everyone needs someone sometimes." She wanted to argue, to push him away. But there was something in his eyes that made her pause. He wasn't judging her like others did. Instead, it felt like he could see right through her tough shell. "Why do you care?" she asked, her voice quieter now. Ethan shrugged, a small smile playing on his lips. "Maybe I see something worth caring about." Lily felt her heart flutter, but she quickly shook it off. "Don't judge me," she whispered, almost to herself. "I'm not judging you," he replied softly. "I just want to understand." She looked at him, really looked at him. Ethan was different. He was kind, and there was a warmth in his presence that made her feel safe, even if she didn't want to admit it. "Why do you always hang around here?" she asked, trying to change the subject. He chuckled. "I like fixing things, and I like helping people." Lily rolled her eyes, but felt a smile tug at her lips. "You must be a glutton for punishment," she teased. "Maybe," he said, grinning. "But I think it's worth it." There was a brief silence, and Lily felt her defenses start to crumble. She had spent so long pushing people away, but Ethan was different. He seemed to understand her in a way that made her uncomfortable, yet hopeful. "I should get back to my ship," she said, trying to sound casual. "Do you need help?" he offered, his tone sincere. "No, I can handle it," she replied, but she hesitated. Part of her wanted to say yes to let him in, but the walls she had built were strong. She was afraid of what would happen if she let them down. "Okay, but if you change your mind, I'm around," Ethan said, stepping back. Lily nodded, watching him go. As he walked away, she felt a strange mix of emotions. She was angry at herself for feeling this way, but she couldn't deny the spark of something more. With a sigh, she turned back to her ship. She had a lot of work to do, and she needed to focus. But as she tightened the bolts on her ship and prepared for her next journey, she couldn't shake the feeling that this encounter was only the beginning. Lily glanced around the spaceport, her heart still racing from the fight and the unexpected connection. She knew she had to keep her guard up, but part of her wondered what it would be like to let someone in. Just for a moment, as she worked, she replayed the moment in her mind. Ethan's smile, his kind words, and how he had stood by her side. For the first time in a long while, she felt a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, she could find someone who saw beyond her shell and dared to reach her heart. But for now, she pushed those thoughts aside. She had a reputation to uphold. She wasn't ready to let anyone see her weakness. With a determined breath, Lily finished her work. She would keep flying, keep fighting, and keep her heart locked away. At least that was the plan. In the back of her mind, however, she felt a tiny voice whispering that maybe, just maybe, she could allow someone to break through. Lily returned to her ship, her mind racing after the encounter with Ethan. She tried to focus on the repairs, but thoughts of his kind eyes and easy smile kept pulling her attention away. She tightened a bolt and sighed. Why was she feeling this way? She had spent years keeping people at a distance. As she worked, she felt a strange mix of anger and confusion. She wanted to ignore Ethan and push him out of her mind, but something about him made it hard. He was different from others. He saw her strength, but also sensed her vulnerability. After finishing the repairs, she decided to take a break. The spaceport was still busy, filled with travelers and traders. She walked around, hoping to distract herself, but each time she turned a corner, she half expected to see Ethan. Finally, she spotted him near a group of mechanics. He was talking and laughing, and she felt a flutter of something in her chest. Why did that bother her? She shook her head, trying to dismiss the feelings. Lily wandered into a small cafe. The smell of coffee and baked goods filled the air, making her stomach growl. She ordered a simple meal and sat at a table near the window. As she ate, she watched the people outside. Suddenly, she saw Ethan enter the cafe. He looked around and spotted her. Big smile spread across his face, and he walked over. "Hey, mind if I join you?" he asked, his eyes sparkling. Lily hesitated but nodded. "Sure, why not?" Ethan sat across from her, his presence warm and inviting. "How are you doing?" he asked, genuinely interested. "Fine," she replied, trying to sound casual. "Just needed a break." He leaned back in his chair, studying her. "You know, you don't have to act tough all the time. It's okay to relax." Lily frowned. "I'm not acting tough. Just don't like to show weakness." "But we all have weaknesses," Ethan said softly. "It's part of being human." She looked down at her plate, feeling exposed. "I guess. But I prefer to keep things to myself." Ethan nodded, understanding. "It's fair. But if you ever want to talk, I'm here." She met his gaze and felt a flicker of warmth. "Why do you care so much?" "'Cause I see you," he replied simply. "I see you fighting and working hard. I admire that." Lily felt a blush creeping up her cheeks. "You don't even know me." "I want to," he said earnestly. "I want to know the real you, not just the tough exterior." Lily opened her mouth to argue, but found no words. It was strange to feel someone so interested in her. "Why?" she finally asked. "Because everyone deserves to be seen for who they are," Ethan said. "And I think you're more than what people see." She wanted to challenge him, to tell him he was wrong. But deep down, his words resonated with her. She felt a mix of fear and hope. Their conversation continued, and slowly Lily found herself opening up. She shared stories about her childhood, her dreams of flying, and the loss that had shaped her. Ethan listened intently, his eyes never leaving her face. "And what about you?" she asked, curious about him. What drives you? Ethan smiled, a hint of shyness in his expression. I like fixing things, whether it's machines or helping people. I want to make a difference, even in small ways. Lily admired his passion. That's good. Need more people like you, he chuckled. And we need more people like you, too. You're strong and brave. She felt her heart race at his compliment. I'm just doing what I have to do, still. He said, it takes courage to stand up for others, especially when you're judged for it. Lily looked away, feeling vulnerable again. I just don't want to be judged for who I am. Ethan reached across the table, his hand resting near hers. You don't have to worry about that with me. I see beyond the shell. I want to know your heart. His words sent a jolt through her. She wanted to pull back, to hide. But something inside urged her to stay. You make it sound easy, she said softly. Maybe it is, he replied with a smile. Or maybe it's just worth it. Lily felt a warmth spreading in her chest. She had never let anyone this close before. What if I let you in and you don't like what you see? Ethan leaned in slightly. Then I'll still be here. Not alone in this fight. His sincerity touched her deeply. She wanted to believe him, but fear held her back. It's hard for me to trust, she admitted. I understand, he said gently. Trust takes time. Just know I'm not going anywhere. They continued to talk, and as the minutes passed, Lily felt more at ease. Laughter came easily, and she found herself enjoying his company. It was refreshing to connect with someone who didn't judge her for her past. Before long, the cafe began to fill up with more people. The atmosphere grew lively, but Lily felt a sense of calm around Ethan. They finished their meals, and he offered to walk her back to her ship as they strolled through the spaceport. Lily noticed how the crowd parted for Ethan. People greeted him with smiles and nods. He was well-liked, and she felt proud to be walking beside him. Do you always help everyone? She asked, curiosity getting the better of her. Pretty much, he replied with a shrug. It's what I enjoy. It makes me feel useful. Lily admired his selflessness. You must get tired of it sometimes. Maybe, but it's worth it to see people happy, he said. They reached her ship, and Lily felt a pang of disappointment that their time was ending. Thanks for today, she said, a little shy. Anytime, he replied, smiling. Remember, I'm here if you need anything. Lily nodded, but part of her wanted to invite him in, to share more of herself. However, the walls around her heart felt too strong. I'll think about it, she said finally. Good enough for me, Ethan said. I'll see you around. As he walked away, Lily watched him go, feeling a mixture of longing and fear. She had opened up more than she ever thought she would. But could she really let him in? Inside her ship, she sat down, her heart racing. She felt a shift within her, a tiny crack in the walls she had built, for the first time in a long while. She considered the possibility of trust and connection as she prepared for her next journey. She knew she had a choice to make. Could she allow someone to see her for who she truly was, or would she continue to hide behind her tough exterior? It's a determined breath. She decided to keep flying. Keep fighting, and maybe, just maybe, open her heart to someone who saw beyond her shell. The thought both scared and excited her. Lily knew she was on the edge of something new. For the first time in years, she felt a spark of hope. Lily awoke the next morning with a mixture of excitement and anxiety. The sun streamed through the small window of her ship, casting warm light across the cramped space. She stretched and felt a sense of determination. She had talked to Ethan, and it had felt good. But the walls around her heart were still high. After a quick breakfast, she decided to take a walk around the spaceport. The air was fresh, filled with the sounds of ships taking off and landing. As she walked, she noticed the diverse crowd of travelers, traders, and aliens. Each person had a story, a journey, just like her. Lily found herself thinking about Ethan. He had been so kind and understanding. It was strange to have someone care about her without judgment. She shook her head, trying to focus on her surroundings. But thoughts of him kept creeping in. As she walked, she spotted a small repair shop. The sign above the door read, Galactic Fix-It. Curious, she stepped inside. The shop was cluttered, but organized, filled with parts and tools for ships. Behind the counter stood an older man, busy working on a small engine. "Welcome," he called out, looking up with a friendly smile. "What can I do for you today?" "Just looking," Lily replied, feeling a bit shy. The man nodded and went back to his work. Lily wandered around, examining the tools and parts. She felt a sense of comfort in the familiar environment. Repairing ships was what she loved, and it was a way to escape from the chaos of her emotions. Suddenly, the door swung open, and in walked Ethan. He looked surprised to see her. "Lily, what a coincidence." "Hey," she said, trying to sound casual. Ethan walked over, his face lighting up. "What are you doing here?" "Just looking around," she replied, feeling her heart race. The shop owner looked up again, smiling. "At Ethan? You know this one? She's a great pilot." Ethan chuckled. "I know. She can handle herself in a fight." Lily felt a warm blush on her cheeks. "I'm not that special." "Maybe not, but you're definitely unique," Ethan said, his eyes sparkling. They chatted for a while, discussing different ship parts and repairs. Lily felt her nervousness fade as they talked. It was easy with Ethan, and she enjoyed his company. After some time, Ethan suggested, "How about we grab some lunch? There's a great place nearby." Lily hesitated for a moment. She wanted to say yes, but the fear of getting too close held her back. "I don't know," she started. "Come on," he encouraged, smiling. "It'll be fun. It's just two friends hanging out." "Okay," she finally agreed, feeling a flutter of excitement. They left the shop and headed to a nearby cafe. The atmosphere was lively, filled with laughter and chatter. They found a table outside, where they could enjoy the fresh air. As they sat down, Lily felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. She was not used to spending time with someone in this way. Ethan ordered a large plate of food and Lily chose something simple. "So, what do you do when you're not flying?" Ethan asked, leaning back in his chair. Lily thought for a moment. "I usually work on my ship or help others with repairs. I like staying busy." "Sounds like you're always on the go," he said, his eyes focused on her. "I have to be," she replied, trying to sound tough. "It keeps me from thinking too much." Ethan nodded, sensing the weight behind her words. "Thinking can be hard sometimes," he said softly. "But it's okay to take a break." She looked at him, surprised by his insight. "You make it sound easy?" "It's not," he admitted. "Talking helps. I want you to know you can talk to me if you want." Lily felt a warmth spreading in her chest. His kindness was both comforting and scary. "I'll think about it," she said, feeling a little shy. Their food arrived, and they began to eat. As they chatted about their lives, Lily found herself laughing more than she expected. Ethan had a way of making her feel at ease. After lunch, they decided to take a walk around the spaceport. The sun was shining, and the atmosphere was vibrant. They explored shops and watched ships take off, enjoying each other's company. Lily felt a sense of freedom as they walked together. The laughter and conversation flowed naturally, and she started to forget about the walls she had built. For the first time in a long while, she felt like she could be herself as they strolled. Ethan suddenly stopped and turned to her. "Lily, can I ask you something?" "Sure," she replied, her heart racing. "What's your biggest dream?" he asked, his expression serious. Lily paused, taken aback by the question. She had never really thought about it, I guess. "I want to fly beyond the stars to explore new worlds," she said slowly.
Ow.
"I want to see places no one has ever seen before." Ethan's eyes lit up. "That sounds amazing. You have the spirit of an explorer." She felt a rush of pride at his words. "It's just a dream," she said, trying to stay humble. "No, it's a goal," he corrected her, "and I believe you can achieve it." Lily smiled, feeling encouraged. "That means a lot coming from you." They continued walking, and Lily felt a growing connection between them. It was different from anything she had experienced before. She wanted to trust him, to let him in, but the fear still lingered. As they approached the edge of the spaceport, they stumbled upon a small group of people gathered around a makeshift stage. A local musician was playing a lively tune, and the crowd was clapping and dancing. "Let's check it out," Ethan said, pulling her along. Lily felt hesitant but followed him. The music was infectious, and soon they were swept up in the energy. Of the crowd, They laughed and clapped along, feeling the joy of the moment. Ethan took her hand, and for a brief moment, she felt a rush of connection. It startled her, but she didn't pull away. Instead, she found herself smiling and moving to the rhythm. After a few songs, they stepped back to catch their breath. "That was fun," Ethan exclaimed, his face beaming. "Yeah, it was Lily." Agreed, feeling lighthearted. "See? You can let loose sometimes," he teased gently. "Maybe," she replied. Feeling a bit shy again, Ethan looked at her, his expression softening. "You don't have to be tough all the time. It's okay to relax and have fun." Lily wanted to believe him. "I'm just not used to it." "Well, it's never too late to start," he said. "You have a friend here to help." His words warmed her heart. She felt a flicker of hope that maybe she could let him in. Even just a little. As they walked back toward her ship, Lily felt a sense of calm wash over her. She had spent so long guarding her heart, but with Ethan, things felt different. "Thanks for today," she said softly as they reached her ship. "Any time," he replied, smiling. "I'm glad we spent time together." Lily hesitated, wanting to invite him inside, but the fear of vulnerability held her back. "See you around," she said instead, trying to keep her tone light. "Absolutely," Ethan said, his voice warm. "Take care, Lily. Yes." As he walked away, she felt a mix of emotions. She had shared a wonderful day with him. The walls around her heart were still strong. Inside her ship, Lily sat quietly, reflecting on everything that had happened. For the first time, she felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe she could open up, let someone in. But for now, she would take it one step at a time. As she prepared for her next journey, she knew that with Ethan by her side, she could face whatever challenges lay ahead. And maybe, just maybe, she could find the courage to open her heart. Lily woke up the next day feeling different. The sun shone brightly through the small window of her ship, and she took a deep breath, ready to face whatever came her way. She had spent a wonderful day with Ethan, and the memory of their laughter still warmed her heart. After breakfast, she decided to check on her ship. There was always something that needed fixing. While she worked, thoughts of Ethan kept popping into her mind. He had a way of making her feel seen and understood, and that was new for her. Later in the morning, Lily received a message on her communicator. It was from Ethan. "Hey, are you free today? Have an idea for an adventure?" Her heart raced at the thought of spending more time with him. "Sure, what do you have in mind?" she replied quickly. "Meet me at the old hangar in an hour. I promise it will be fun." Lily felt a wave of excitement. She finished her work quickly and headed out to the hangar. The old hangar was a place where many ships were stored and repaired, but it had been abandoned for years. When she arrived, she found Ethan waiting for her, his face lighting up when he saw her. "You made it," he said, grinning. "What's the adventure?" He asked, curious. Ethan pointed to a small, rusty ship parked in the corner of the hangar. "I found this old cargo ship. It's not in great shape, but I thought we could fix it up together. Then we can take it for a test flight." Lily stared at the ship, a mix of excitement and doubt swirling in her chest. "You really think we can fix it?" "Of course we can. I've seen your skills. Together, we can make it fly again," he said confidently. She felt a spark of hope. "Okay, let's do it." They spent the next few hours working on the ship. Ethan showed her the parts he had gathered, and they began to take apart the engine. Lily felt alive as they worked side by side, their hands covered in grease and dirt. "What do you think happened to it?" she asked, looking at the old ship. "With curiosity, probably just left here to rust away," Ethan replied. "But with a little love and care, we can bring it back to life." Lily smiled at his enthusiasm. As they worked, they shared stories, laughing and joking. She felt the walls around her heart start to crumble. For the first time, she was letting someone in, and it felt good. After a while, they took a break, sitting on the ground and drinking water. "This is fun," Ethan said, wiping sweat from his forehead. "Yeah, it is," Lily agreed, feeling a sense of connection. "I haven't done something like this in a long time." "Me neither," he said. "It's nice to have someone to share it with." Lily felt her heart race at his words. I like working with you, Ethan. You make it easy. They continued working, and as the sun began to set, they had made significant progress. The engine was almost ready, and Lily felt a sense of accomplishment. Tomorrow, we can finish the repairs and take it for a test flight, Ethan said, his eyes shining with excitement. Really? You think it will fly? She asked, feeling a mix of hope and fear. I believe in us, he replied. We can do this together. As they packed up for the day, Lily felt a wave of emotion wash over her. She had spent so long pushing people away, but Ethan was different. Saw her, understood her, and believed in her. Thanks for today, she said, her voice soft. Any time, he replied, his smile warm. I'm glad we're doing this. They walked back to the spaceport together, and the evening air was filled with the sounds of laughter and music. Lily felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from her shoulders. As they reached her ship, she turned to Ethan. Do you want to come inside for a bit? We could grab a drink or something? His eyes widened in surprise. Really? I'd love to. Lily felt nervous, but excited. She opened the door and Ethan stepped inside. The small space was messy, filled with tools and parts. But it was home. Wow, it's cozy in here, he said, looking around. Thanks, Lily replied, feeling a bit shy. She grabbed 2 cups and poured some water. They sat down at the small table, and the atmosphere felt comfortable. So what do you do when you're not fixing ships? Ethan asked, taking a sip of water. Lily thought for a moment. Not much, really. I fly sometimes, but mostly I just keep to myself. Why? He asked gently. It's safer that way, she admitted. I don't like getting too close to people, Ethan nodded, understanding her hesitation. I get it, but you don't have to be alone. You have friends, and I hope to be one of them. She felt a warmth in his words. I appreciate that. It's just hard for me. You don't have to rush, he said. I'm here for you no matter what. Lily looked into his eyes and felt a sense of trust growing. Thank you, Ethan. That means more than you know. They talked for a while longer, sharing stories and laughter. Lily felt a connection she had never experienced before. It was refreshing and scary all at once. As the night grew darker, Ethan stood up. I should get going, but I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Me too, she said, feeling a mix of disappointment and excitement. As he walked to the door, he turned and smiled. Remember, I'm just a message away. Okay, she replied, feeling a flutter in her chest. After he left, Lily sat down at her table, reflecting on the day. She had opened up more than she expected. The walls around her heart were still there, but they were starting to crack. She felt a spark of hope that maybe she could let someone in after all. With Ethan by her side, she felt stronger and more alive. As she prepared for bed, she knew that tomorrow would be a big day. It would test the ship, and she felt a mixture of excitement and fear. But for the first time in a long time, she was ready to embrace whatever came next. Lily woke up the next morning feeling a mix of excitement and nerves. Today was the day they would test the old cargo ship. She quickly got dressed and made a light breakfast, her mind racing with thoughts of what was to come. Would the ship fly? Would they be successful? After breakfast, she gathered her tools and headed to the hangar. The sun was shining bright, and the spaceport was bustling with activity. As she walked, she felt a sense of determination. Today was not just about the ship. It was about taking a leap of faith in herself and in Ethan. When she arrived at the hangar, she saw Ethan already working on the ship. He was focused, his hands moving swiftly as he made final adjustments to the engine. Seeing him working hard made her smile. Good morning, she called out as she approached. Ethan looked up and grinned. Morning, are you ready for this? As ready as I'll ever be, Lily replied, feeling her heart flutter. Great, let's finish up and get this baby in the air, he said. His enthusiasm contagious. They worked together, making the last-minute checks on the ship. As they tightened bolts and checked fuel levels, Lily felt a growing excitement. It put in so much effort, and now it was time to see if it would pay off. Once everything was ready, Ethan stepped back, wiping his hands on a rag. I think we're good to go. Are you ready for your first flight in this ship? Lily took a deep breath. I've flown many ships, but this one feels different, 'cause it's special, he said with a smile. We brought it back to life. With his encouragement, she climbed into the pilot's seat. The cockpit felt familiar yet new. She ran her fingers over the controls, checking everything one last time. Ethan settled into the seat beside her, looking excited. Let's do this, she said, her voice steady. Lily started the engines and they roared to life, shaking the ship slightly. She felt a thrill rush through her. Engines are good. Awesome. Now, let's get ready for takeoff, Ethan said, his eyes shining. With excitement, Lily guided the ship out of the hangar, careful not to hit anything. The spaceport was busy, with ships coming and going. As they reached the runway, she felt a mix of nerves and anticipation. Here we go, she said, and with that, she pushed the throttle forward. The ship accelerated down the runway, and Lily felt the familiar rush of speed. Liftoff in 3, 2, 1. Now, with a smooth motion, she pulled back on the controls, and the ship lifted off the ground. They soared into the sky, leaving the spaceport behind. The view was stunning, with the vast expanse of space ahead of them. We did it, Ethan shouted, his joy contagious. Lily laughed, feeling exhilarated. This is amazing. They flew higher, the ship responding beautifully to her commands. She felt a sense of freedom that she had not felt in a long time. As they moved through the clouds, laughter filled the cockpit. Let's do some maneuvers, Ethan suggested, his voice filled with excitement. Okay, but be ready, she warned. Lily performed a series of loops and turns, feeling the adrenaline rush. Ethan cheered her on, and she felt more confident with each maneuver. This was what she loved, flying, exploring, and pushing her limits. After a while, she leveled out and took a moment to catch her breath. This is incredible, she said, glancing at Ethan. See? I knew you could do it, he replied, beaming with pride. Lily felt a warm glow at his words. I couldn't have done it without you. They flew for a while longer, enjoying the thrill of the moment. But soon, Lily noticed something strange. A warning light flashed on the control panel. Her heart raced as she quickly checked the readings. She said, her voice tense. We have a fuel leak. Ethan's expression changed. What do we do? First, we need to stay calm, she replied, taking a deep breath. I'll guide us back to the spaceport. She carefully adjusted the controls, preparing for a safe landing. We'll have to make it quick. Hold on tight. As she maneuvered the ship, she felt a wave of determination wash over her. She had faced challenges before, and this was just another test. With Ethan by her side, she felt stronger. Just focus on the landing. Ethan encouraged, his voice steady. Lily concentrated. On the task ahead, she brought the ship lower, keeping an eye on the fuel gauge. The warning light was still flashing, but she remained calm. Almost there, she said, guiding the ship toward the runway. With a smooth touch, she landed the ship safely back on the ground. The moment the wheels touched down, a wave of relief washed over them. We made it, Ethan exclaimed, grinning widely. Lily laughed, feeling the adrenaline still pumping through her. That was close. They quickly exited the ship, and Ethan checked the engine. Looks like we need to fix that leak, he said, inspecting the damage. Yeah, but we did it together, Lily replied, feeling proud of what they had accomplished. As they worked on the ship, the experience brought them closer. They shared ideas and solutions, laughing off the tension of the moment. It felt good to rely on each other. After some time, they had fixed the leak and made sure everything was secure. Lily felt grateful for Ethan's support. Thanks for being there, she said genuinely. Always, he replied, his smile warm. You handled that like a pro. Lily felt a flutter in her heart. She had faced a challenge, and with Ethan's help, she had come out stronger. I couldn't have done it without you. As they finished up, the sun began to set, painting the sky with beautiful colors. They stood outside the ship, watching the sunset together. Today was something else, Ethan said, breaking the silence. Yeah. It was, Lily agreed, feeling a sense of peace. Ethan turned to her, his expression serious. You know, I'm really glad we did this. I feel like we've come a long way. Lily nodded, her heart racing. I feel it too. I've learned so much about myself. Me too. You're braver than you think, he said softly. She looked into his eyes, feeling a connection that was deeper than friendship. I'm starting to trust you. Ethan smiled, and she could see the warmth in his gaze. That means a lot to me. They stood close, the sunset casting a warm glow around them. In that moment, Lily felt a rush of emotions. She wanted to let him in, to show him her true self. Ethan, she began, her voice trembling slightly. I want to open up more. I don't want to hide anymore. His eyes widened with surprise and joy. Really? You don't have to rush, but I'm here for you whenever you're ready. I know, she said, feeling a mix of relief and excitement. I just want you to know that I appreciate you. Everything you've done for me. Ethan stepped closer, his expression sincere. You're worth it, Lily. You deserve to be happy and to be yourself. In that moment, she felt a wave of hope. She was ready to embrace whatever came next. With Ethan by her side, she knew she could face anything. As they watched the sun dip below the horizon, Lily felt a sense of peace. She had taken a leap of faith, and it felt right. Together they had faced challenges, and she was excited for the adventures ahead. With a smile, she turned to Ethan, ready to start a new chapter in her life. The future was bright, and she was ready to embrace it, heart open and free.